Shalom, welcome to Eretz Israel. I'm Avraham Shira. We have a little talk here before the Holy Shabbat comes down, the Shabbat of Chol Hamoed Pesach, 5783. And, it's a piece of the davening jumped out at me. And you should know, anytime you're praying from a book and a word jumps out at you, that means there's something in you for it and it for you. There's a symbiotic relationship, a spiritual understanding that's arising within you. And it's reflected in those holy letters. So it popped out at me that Karata Shemcha Gadol Aleinu. God called your great name upon us. What does that mean to a Jew? He called his name upon us means we became his representatives. Now imagine you're a high-level manager in a big corporation, and your boss, the head, the CEO of the whole corporation, a big corporation, we're talking billions, trillions, whatever you need to feel good, and your boss calls you into the office and says, I need you to represent me in a very important meeting. And I'm going to send you in the corporate jet with a brand new suit and new shoes too, because you got to have good, nice shoes to go with the suit, right? And your job is to represent me and this company at this meeting around the world. And can you do that for me? So most middle managers, high-level managers say, for sure, I'm going to turn that down. One of these big names that are all out there in the media that run these huge corporations, well, they have a lot of power, at least in this physical plane, which does mean they have some power in the spiritual plane as well. We're not going to get into that now, but the point is that you become the representative of this CEO, and your name is on him. And his name is on you. He's relying to you. He goes home from work that day and says, you know what I did, honey? I gave Avraham Shira this job to go to Russia and talk to Putin. Really? Are you sure you want to do that? And I go home at night and I say, you won't believe it, honey. The boss told me he wants me to go to Russia to talk to Putin to stop this war. Wow. Big deal, right? Heavy responsibility. Of course, you're going to do everything you can to represent your company and your boss and his name. You're going to do everything right as best as you can. You're going to go to the nth degree so that his name, his mission, his purpose, his goal is accomplished through you. V'karata Shem Gadol Shelcha Aleinu. You called your great name upon us. When God took the Jews out of Egypt, he was putting his name on us. Forever, a stamp. The one living, eternal, monotheistic creator of the universe. And he put his name on us. Now that's huge. It's much bigger than a CEO, believe it or not. And it's a corporation that's going to last for thousands of more years, one way or the other. Are we ready to carry that name? And this is every Jew's individual choice. Because a lot of people say, I can't carry that name. That's too much. That's too heavy for me. But a long time ago, I asked myself, well, why did God create me a Jew? He could have created me anything. Any kind of non-Jew, any religion, any skin color, any culture. And he chose me for me to be an American Jew born in Florida, torn between the beach, and the basketball court. And he said, no, I have something for you to do. And I took that on, and I'm really glad I did. And that's taking on the name, is taking on the reputation of your boss. So when we do things, we have to think twice and 3 times and 4 times as a Jew, because we represent him. Now you might say, that's too much, Avraham. I'm not that religious. It's too hard. I can't think that much about God all day long. I got to work. I got to go to, I got to pick up the kids at the school. I've got a lot of things on my head. How am I going to think about God all day long? And I said, there's no contradiction to think about God all day long and to integrate those thoughts with the things that you do in this world. And that's part of the sanctification of his name. Because people will see you. And Rabbi Nachman said, what does it mean that you love God? People see what you do and they love God because they see you. That's sanctifying his name. When other people get a kind word from you, you drop them a few dollars when they need it. You pick them up in the rain when they need that. You do what you need to do at every given moment for somebody else. They're not going to say, oh, Avraham Shira, he's so great. They're going to say, wow, this guy believes in God. He really believes it. And he acts like it. And that person will love God. Not the person, not the personality. Not the beard and the kippah. The ideas behind it. And that's God calling his name upon us. And so this is how we go, day by day, year by year, decade by decade, millennium by millennium. The Jews are wearing this name, whether they like it or not. And the truth told, a lot don't. And, we can understand. We can understand people that they've been through a lot more than I've been through. You look at these Holocaust survivors that are still around, they're just beyond amazing. What they've been through and how they've come through. And how they stand up and are counted as a Jew. With pride, with dignity, and with faith. And they don't question God. I worked for a Holocaust survivor. I asked her, how could you be so religious when, you were 3 years in Auschwitz? And you know what she said? Rebbetzin Sophie Solberg. She said, who am I to question God? Are we ready for that level of humility? Of knowing my place in the rank and file of humanity? Who am I to question God? Now, I can question God on certain things. When it comes to something as big as a Holocaust or an Inquisition or a pogrom or a mass terror attack, lo elenu, God protect us, Rahman litzlan. When it comes to the big things, I'm putting my head somewhere maybe it shouldn't go. Now, the little things about my life, I need to ask. I need to fight. I need to argue with God. Not because I'm right, but because it feels like the thing to do. And he wants our objection, our question. He wants us to ask, God, why do I need to do this? What do I need to do right now? Well, I need to do this talk, Erev Shabbat Pesach, because it's bubbling inside me. And what does it mean to carry a name? Because we're carrying names all the time anyways. You carry the name of your country, your parents, your job, your wife, your husband. You carry names on you, whether you like it or not. And carrying a name keeps us a little more in line. But when you carry the name of the creator of the universe, you want to do a good job. Because you know what? He's going to come back. And he's going to write you that check at the end of the day. It might not be for 120 years before you get the check. That's okay. You'll get it. But when we know that and we do that, and we live that way, this is what Pesach is about. The freedom to accept the responsibility. When I accept the responsibility of carrying his name, then I'm free because I know my place in reality. Freedom doesn't mean I just fly around, do whatever I want, wherever I go, whatever time it is. Freedom means I know exactly what I do every moment of every day. And if I don't know, I ask the boss. And I pray for that. And if I don't know his answer, then I pray again and again until something clears inside. And everybody gets those messages if you just stop and ask and listen over and over again. And never give up. And always believe, because the greatest fruit, en ben horim ela ben Torah. We're taught over and over, the only free people are the people that accept the Torah. It is not free to not have a law, to live in chaos, to live according to your, as they used to say, by your shoelaces, untied and running through the street. That's not freedom. That's danger. And anybody who's grown up in the secular world has seen that. So the Jewish people were chosen to carry the name And that means chosen to think twice and third time and fourth time to find out what I'm supposed to do and how I'm supposed to do it, and know I'm doing it for a much bigger cause than I realize. And suddenly our little lives and our little moments take on importance. They take on direction. They take on purpose for ourselves and for others, and who knows who you're going to affect. And if you change someone's life today, their great grandkids might tell the story about how their grandfather met this guy or this woman, and she did something for me at the right time in the right place, and it changed my life. And that's called representing the King, carrying the name. So this Pesach, we should be free with the Torah, free within the rules, the boundaries, the laws, the advices. God is not forcing us into prison of the Torah. God is giving us the best advices we could ever get. We just have to look a little harder for them, and we'll find them all around us. In the Torah and in the people around us, and in the messages that you get when you don't know that you're getting them. But they'll be there, because God wants us to do his will. And look, a good father can't ask you to do something. He can't tell you to do something unless he explains what he needs you to do. So he's there and he's explaining. It's there. And this Shabbat should be a wonderful time of rest and contemplation and gratitude for where we've gotten and where we still have to go. Because our mission is great and we still have work to do. But it's a joyous work. It's an amazing work. And it's the work that has been carrying on for thousands of years. And we are not ben chorim lefater mimena. We're not free to say, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. No, there's no done. You could take a break. Because the rabbis even said, Eit lasot lashem heferu toratecha. Right? Sometimes it's time to take it easy in your observation of a certain mitzvah, because you want to keep your sanity. That's a good reason to hold off, to pull back, right? But we push away the Torah sometimes in order that we can keep it even better the next time. So have a great Shabbat. Enjoy what you do. Take the one mitzvah that you do best and do it with all your heart and soul, and everything else will light up. So God bless you all. Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom, and we'll see you Motzi Shabbat, hopefully from Jerusalem, the holy city, with a lot of interesting ideas that are coming out of this amazing time, this amazing Haggadah, and the present state of affairs in the world. Because we're not in the exile and redemption of Egypt. We're in the exile and redemption of the entire world. This is a global redemption. Join it. Be with us. We're going to win. Chag Sameach, Shabbat Shalom.